G'day, this is Captain Terrible at Fallout 4 Noob, and this is the fusion gun. Now, this thing is a highly customizable high-tech weapon, which you can find in the Sentinel site in the Glowing Sea, and as for the ammo, you craft the ammo at the chemistry station under utility. Now, getting all past that, this thing looks pretty awesome. The speculars are off the charts, that's very, very shiny indeed, and all the meshes and textures look really slick, so good on it so far. Now, first of all, we want to get this thing to a receiver which does a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the way you sort of upgrade this is you just sort of have to go along the subsequent upgrades. So you go on, you just get one and then you unlock two, because obviously when you create the thing, it creates the MISC mod in your inventory, and with that MISC mod, it's actually one of the requirements of these receivers here. So this thing is automatic and also semi-auto, which is good. If we can find a scope on this thing, I have no doubt it'll work with sniper, which is good. We'll find out which ones will be the best. I think the leaded, no, hang on. Looks like the leaded standard receiver will net us the most damage. Everything else is rather terrible. That's kind of weird. Yep, so the leaded standard receiver we shall go. Next up, for the barrel, same thing here. If you want to get the best sort of damage, you got to go ahead and make the subsequent barrels there, which it makes a little bit more sense to do it this way sometimes, because you sort of have to upgrade the gun as you go along. But Fallout 4 doesn't really need that, because you've got all these perk requirements anyway, which are capped off at levels, so that's how they balance it. But it is a nice sort of idea to do this. So to get the most damage would probably be either the copper plated or the lead closed barrel. You get a lot more ballistic damage with the lead closed barrel, and I generally prefer ballistic damage. Some of the laser rifles seem toothless in this game, so I generally like ballistic better. Same thing with the stocks. You can get a whole of a lot more range out of this. That's incredible range, so yeah, that'll be good there. And with the good stock here, I think the copper plated will get us the highest rate of fire there, so we'll definitely chuck that on, even though everything else is leaded. But that's fine, we don't want lead poisoning, because you'll be holding on to that. Right, so for this we'll chuck on, let's see, can we have some reflex sights? Yes, we'll definitely do that. And yeah, actually no, we'll have the reflex sight on the fusion gun that is actually semi-auto, so we'll try and find a short scope wherever it is. Okay, looks like the medium scope is the shortest we can get. That's fine, that'll work. Now, when it comes to the muzzles, you can actually add yourselves even more damage there, so the ultraviolet suppressor is very good. We'll definitely want to do that. And I believe there are better suppressors out there, like the leaded one, that'll give you a little bit more radiation damage, which is good. Yep, that 701 ballistic damage is probably what I want to get there, so we'll definitely do that somehow. Okay, so I hit a roadblock when creating the suppressor. Apparently you need 125 bits of lead to actually get that attached, which is significant amounts. If you consider how big the lead bit is when you drop it, it's pretty big. It's like the size of your hands, put them together, it's like that. You need 125 of those to actually make that, so that'd either make it really heavy, or that's just a little bit of a typo there. Maybe it was meant to be like 25 lead or 12 lead, but yeah, it's a little bit over the top, but we made it. We can use some console commands. Let's get into Gunner's Plaza and shoot people. Okay, here we are in Gunner's Plaza, and here's what the fusion gun looks like up close. Now, in terms of animations, this thing uses a laser rifle / institute laser animations there, and it is also available in pistol form too, and uses such animations there. So you know what, this thing looks pretty cool in third person and first person there, so a good start for it. Now, the challenge that I'm setting this weapon is, can it put a smile on Bridget's face? Time will tell. So we'll get stuck into these gunners. We've got a suppressor on this thing, so you know what, we should be good. Blink and you'll miss that projectile. It is there though, I've seen it. I'm pretty sure we should be able to capture it with my shadow play there, so it should be all good. But with those sneak attack criticals, we're dropping people with like 2400 damage, which was absolutely brilliant, and it killed them very fast. Unfortunately, we're in danger now, so no more juicy sneak attack criticals for me. But look at that hip fire, that is brilliant. I don't even need to aim down sights, which is perfect, because this thing's got a unwieldy scope on it, which makes it rather hard to aim at targets that really aren't at range where you'd want to use a medium scope, but I am forced to use it anyway. So in terms of whether it works with sniper, well, I have to shoot people in the Just, hang on, where'd they go? Yeah, I just have to shoot people enough and have them survive for me to determine that, but I don't think it's going to matter. I'd rather these enemies be dropped. And also, you're playing pretend guns, are you? Good for you, gunner. Good for you. Okay, so that's the sniper version of that, just with a semi-auto receiver capacitor with a scope, and it did pretty well. I'm going to move over to our automatic one, and this thing fires bloody fast. So you'll be hitting that reload button pretty much all the time or seeing those reload animations go, because this thing just it just sprays all of the fusion cartridges everywhere, and it has a little bit of recoil to go along with that. But as you can tell, even though that base damage was really quite tiny, as you saw with that little preview that I did on the workbench, it's not really going to matter all that much. Oh, hello me. Meet the real me. Yeah, I'll just take that gun from me as well. Oh. Yeah, that's probably about the worst place you can be if somebody's holding a fusion gun with the automatic variety right in front of them. Okay, so I usually go on about how weapons aren't good enough to be viable in very hard difficulty, but yet this one can be toned down a bit. It's really over the top, but you know what? That's fine. I'm having fun killing these gunners without any difficulties at all, and I'm sure this thing will be easily able to push the limits and kill Swan and any other monster very easily too, which is great. This is what it looks like through the reflex. I don't think I've actually aimed down sights yet. It's just a hollow tube there. Very vision restricting, and I would not recommend using this thing with this sight at all. In fact, going into third person is probably what I'd do. Anyways, here's the pistol version. We haven't seen anything like that. This thing reloads a whole lot faster, which will allow you to get more bullets on or fusion projectiles on your target, which is great. Now, while I do say the damage is a little bit out there, it's worth mentioning that this thing's ammo is extremely costly to create. It's going to take you a lot of copper and a lot of lead, so in a roundabout way it does balance itself out. So yeah, in terms of damage, this thing is fine. It hits hard, but its ammo is expensive and hard to come by, which is good. Also, the glow maps there are really solid, which is great. Anyway, we'll move on to some super mutants and we'll destroy them easily. And apparently Bridget's not impressed yet, but she'll come around, you'll see. Alright, I'm actually keen to see how fast this fusion gun can tear through super mutants, but let's just say and stay in sneak this time, so it'll be a whole lot easier to rack up the kills. So first of all, these guys will go down first. There's usually one just standing there still for some reason. I think he's a little bit glitched. Oh wait, no, he's walking around fine. Okay, well that's just a bit weird. Okay, we missed a couple of shots there, but he still got dropped due to the sneak attack criticals, which is great. Now, there's usually one just up here. Not quite. He might be around in this direction. There we go. I think it takes a lot of skill to backpedal up escalator stairs like that. Good on you. The thing about soul survivors or anyone in this game is they can pretty much backpedal at the same speed as they run forward, which is probably for gameplay purposes, but yeah, it's a little bit strange. Oh, okay, you're a little bit perceptive. Not getting the sneak attack crit on you. But we can still probably two-shot you anyway, and you come tumbling down the stairs like that. Brilliant. Alright, we'll try to get a headshot on you, and that'll definitely drop you in one shot. So, yeah, definitely hit scan weapon, but you can see the projectile go kind of like the Gauss rifle in a way, and sometimes when you pop a tracer bullet in with your assault rifles, although they are pretty rare. Alright, back into caution now. I think we can whip out our automatic one, because we've had enough of this sniper for now. And what have we got? Just a super mutant down there. I will just switch into third person and aim with him like that. And drop down here. And you're blind firing up where? To where I was before. And yes. So when it fires in its automatic fashion, basically it's a scattershot weapon, but the recoil is so much more manageable than you would have a scattershot laser rifle automatic going in. Because the recoil on those, you'd be like that. Hold down the trigger and you'd be looking at the sky within a second. But yeah, that was good fun to use back in the day of the wounding automatic laser rifles. Anyways, we'll switch over to the pistol and we'll finish off these last two dudes here. So we'll just line up a headshot there. That's only a brute. He'll go down regardless of where I hit him, but I want to get a nice headshot on this super mutant warlord here. I haven't actually been able to use VATS yet because this thing does so much damage anyway, but I probably should use VATS judging by my terrible aim there. Speaking of Radroaches, Super Mutant, would you believe there are some around? And yes, it would one-shot Radroaches. I think that's nice to establish. Ooh, he's like a dodgy Radroach who dodges all your bullets all the time. So, there you go. It cuts through the mighty Super Mutant Tank Lords very, very easily. Like, yeah, I'm not really surprised, but is Bridget approve of this? Let's see. Not really. I think she's coming around a little bit, though. Could just get a view on your face. There's some proper lighting. Alright, we'll move on to Swan and rip him a new one. Righto, so we've got the automatic one in our hands, and I'm curious onto how fast this can rip through Swan. Since this is a shotgun automatic type thingy, we'll just get nice and close to him, and then we'll fill him with fusion bullets. Oh yes, that's good. That's good. We can keep going with that. And oh, look at all those 190 damage spraying off him whenever I hit him. Alright, come on Bridget, you gotta like that, don't you? Let's see what you think there. Ah, she smiled, she likes it. Alright, this gun's got Bridget's approval. Good on you, modder, you did good. Right, we'll move on to another monster. Okay, let's give this thing a whirl against the strongest monster in this monster mod. So that is the Ethereal Mythic Deathclaw over there. He likes to take a lot of bullets before he can drop, and he basically one-shots me every time he gets close to me. So we're gonna probably want to play this safe, even for the fusion gun, which is as powerful as you'd probably like any of your weapons to be. Yeah, this thing isn't going to be killing him in one shot, even with a critical there. So I hope we're in range of this, because if we're not quite in range, we do suffer from a little bit of a damage penalty. And since this guy is rather, 7.5 thousand damage there, that is brilliant. Okay, he's probably close to detecting me now because Deathclaws are highly perceptive. But we'll keep on this crit train here just to see how well we can do if push comes to shove. Ah, there we go. The sniper perk is procced. I knew it would happen. Alright, so that allows me just to get a few cheap shots in as he's currently ragdolling around there. Chuck another fusion thingy in there, and once more he is dead. So, wow. This thing just blew me away with all the damage, made Bridget a very happy gunner indeed, and that was the fusion gun there. Very impressed with this weapon. Its aesthetics, I can't speak today, just brilliant. Its damage potential and output are great. Over the top, but still great. And also its reload animations suit it well. And the glow maps are very nice too, makes it look very sort of high-tech and futuristic. So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, oh yeah, the sounds are cool too, be sure to check out the description. There shall be a link down there for this mod. And I believe it might be on Xbox One, but don't quote me on that. Sometimes these things aren't because modders can't bother porting it over, but if it is, links will be down there too. Also, if you'd like Captain Bridget as a companion for yourself, be sure to check out that too. That is also a PS4 mod. She's on PS4 too, guys. I'm not leaving you out of this. Thank you for watching, guys.